We'll put that in there.
Spinners like that. The first truck in Irving has spinners on it.
Alright guys, this is my buddy here, longtime friend of mine. He's got a, what year is it?
The 1985 Buick Regal.
How long you had the car?
I bought it in 2018.
What'd you pay for it?
Paid $1,000. Guy wanted $1,500, and I talked him down when I got there.
I guess let's just go over the setup on it.
Got a 5.3, no machine work done. Dingleberry hone on the cylinders, Wiseco dome top, 4cc pistons, Pro LS forged rods, Edelbrock Super Victor intake, 850 Holley Ultra XP carburetor, 6014 MSD for ignition, stock crank.
This is a nitrous car, isn't it? So
it will be a nitrous car.
Rings are gapped and all that?
Yes, sir.
What cam's in it?
It is a custom ground camshaft from Cam Motion.
What about the transmission? What transmission's in it?
Turbo 400. It's got a Ultra Bell on it, trans brake.
As far as rear end goes, I mean, what's it got? What's your plan there?
It's got the stock 7.5 in it now. My plan is 8.8 build. Put a anti-roll bar in it, which I have back here on the shelf somewhere.
Are you gonna put a cage in it, or?
Yes, we're gonna do the cage ourselves. We're gonna get a cage kit, pre-bent, pre-notched, and put it together ourselves. Subscribe, baby.
What's your I guess your hometown track?
Yellow Belly.
Yellow Belly, aka the Gut.
Yeah. Remember going out there as a kid.
Yeah.
With my dad.
There you go. So you learned a lot of setup and chassis stuff, I guess, from your dad.
Yeah.
And
experience and mostly all from the dirt track world.
Gotcha. Okay, so
and
then
Gbodys at that, all metric cars.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
All metric cars.
So I guess as far as, but I mean, this car is LS. It's a 5.3, but this isn't the first motor you built. So
the first one I built is the first LS motor I built. It's the first LS motor I owned.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's been a lot of learning curve between LS and traditional small block.
So I guess you learned how to build engines from your dad then.
I did. I remember I had a 1988 IROC Z Camaro that I had bought, had a 305 in it. I went out to the street races one night. I let my buddy race it, and he went up against a what people would call now donks, probably a Caprice on 24s. Looked like easy money. I mean, it made us look stupid. I mean, we were in a stock 305 car, so I mean, what do you expect? But we were out of the street racing.
Yeah.
Racing Honda Accords and Nothing against you Honda guys.
You had a badass Honda too.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I had two. But one of them very memorable.
Yeah.
Little turbo EK hatch that I used to have.
Sweet.
But yeah, so that pretty much got beat by that car. I went home that night and told my dad, like, we need to build another motor for this car.
Yeah.
He had a motor, just a Corvette. It came out of a Corvette. Just a 354 bolt main, short block that he had for a long time. He let me build it. He was gonna guide. I was gonna build it. I was probably 16, 17 years old at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm going through it, putting bearings in, building it, and I guess I had left a rod cap loose.
Oh man.
Yep. Had a nice little whiny Pete Jackson gear drive in it.
Okay.
A little blower car.
Yeah.
I think overall total probably 10 miles on the car before we went out for another little run down the street, and my dad got into it, and it just locked smooth up.
Oh boy.
Locked smooth up. Both of us get out of the car, look underneath it, oil all over the place, shot a rod cap straight out of the pan. Straight out of the pan.
Okay.
We got it back to the house. That was a little while later. I can't remember if we pulled the motor out, but just looking at it, it windowed the pan.
Yeah.
Flashlight look, you can see where the rod used to be was kind of bent.
So you learned your lesson on that one.
I did. I learned my lesson on that, which is mistakes are definitely made. Double check, triple check, quadruple check, everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Okay. So this car is your first purpose-built drag car. Like, you started from the beginning with the intention of making this a race car.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, not a race car. It's a competitive street car.
It is a very competitive street car. Not to sell myself too short here. I've always started projects and kind of got in the habit of not finishing them.
Right.
Or maybe got a little in over my head.
Sure.
But with this car, kind of stuck to it. It's taken, I don't want to say I started in 2018. I got the car in 2018 with the intentions of doing something with it.
Yeah.
I think right around 2019, 2019, maybe around May, I really started on the car. I got the block from a good buddy of ours that pretty much thought that it was gone. Had a lot of play in the crank.
In the thrust.
Ended up just being a thrust bearing, and it kind of wiped the crank a little bit. It wiped the crank. So I went to Summit, picked up a crank, bought a crank for it. Had Gen 4 rods. Had some aftermarket hyper-uritic pistons in it.
Yeah.
Which kind of was a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, because originally you were going to do a stock bottom end deal on this.
Yep, it was going to be a stock bottom end, stock pistons, stock rods, stock crank. That ended up changing my mind over a couple week period of time. I'd already started buying other stuff. I think the first thing I bought was the MSD and the Super Victor intake. It was the first thing I bought. Went ahead and pulled the trigger and bought pistons and rods. Sent the rotating assembly down, had them balance it out.
Okay.
It was just one of those things where I thought to myself, this needs to be the project that you start, and this needs to be the project that you finish.
Right.
Very consistently, buying parts here, buying parts there, and trying to just keep up and trying to stay on task with this car and not letting anything get in the way from me actually finishing this project. This is the one thing that I wanted to start and finish. Yeah,
it takes time to build a car. So
it does. From planning it out on the paper, then going into Summit, because I got a Summit just maybe 10 miles up the road, so it's very convenient for me to go down the street and pick up some parts. But,
you can just walk in there and grab stuff.
Walk in. And usually I just order it on my phone, go up to the counter, show them my ID, and then go wait in line.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for showing us the car, and I think it's going to be fast.
Appreciate it.
When do you think it's going to be out? What's your goal?
Tennessee, I don't have a date set. I do have a date set on driving it. I'm gonna leave the stock rear end in it. I'm gonna measure for a drive shaft, get the drive shaft in it, and get it running and driving, at least street worthy. I do want to take it to some little car events here and there, run it around, and once I get up the funds and put a rear end underneath it, that's whenever it'll go out racing. So
Gotcha.
No rush. I'm
Awesome.
not in a rush.
Sweet. Well, thanks for showing it to us, and it sounds good, man.
Appreciate it.